Today, my first ever documentary is premiering in my hometown for 200 people. It's an exciting but also nerve-wracking day. Let me take you back to the beginning.
Ik wil graag een fles Bacardi.
Die is in de supermarkt nog niet, zijn we denken.
Dat mag niet in de supermarkt verkocht worden.
Oh, hebben ze in de supermarkt niet. Heb je wel een doos pannenkoeken?
Nee, joh. My dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2013 when I was 16 years old. As a kid, you tend to live carefree. You're often sheltered from most things that happen outside of your direct environment. Specifically all the harm, hurt, and downsides of life. There's this sense that your parents are indestructible. Nothing can touch them, nothing can hurt them. Growing up, you tend to learn the faults in your beliefs. You come to know that everyone around you is not immune to the harsh realities of life. I thought of my dad as the same, indestructible. To me, my dad was a hero. Unbeknownst to me, he frequently worked 60 to 80-hour weeks, but he wasn't missing in any of my memories. No missed dinners, no missed games, no missed bedtime stories. He was always there, and with a smile on his face. I looked up to him. How could he never get mad at my infuriating antics? How did he always stay calm in tense situations? And how was he able to keep up with me on only 3 hours of sleep? That just seemed to slip away a little when you hear the diagnosis Parkinson's disease. What do you do? What will your future be like? What can you still do in 10 years? All these questions and all these uncertainties. But do you let it define you? In 2017, 4 years into his diagnosis, he decided to walk the Vierdaagse, which is a walking event in Nijmegen where you walk 40 kilometers for 4 consecutive days. And at the time I wanted to make just a short video about it, the fact that he as a Parkinson patient was participating in this event, and just document the process of him training for the Vierdaagse, walking it, and eventually also finishing it. But over the years it kind of became a little bit of a bigger project, and then I came up with more things that I kind of wanted to include in this video about sports in general, and seeing how much he benefited from working out and going to the gym. And that's also around the time that I slowly started finalizing kind of like the script, or at least all the parts that I wanted to include in the documentary. And since then I'd also started filming some clips that I wanted to include in the documentary. So I went to tennis with my dad, for instance. I went to a Saturday morning gym session with my dad to film something there. And then my dad actually did an interview for Parkinson TV, and where they were talking about sports and Parkinson's, and he was invited to be part of the interview. And that's also where he met Bas Bloem, and he knew that I was working on this documentary and that I wanted to interview someone like a professional to give kind of a simplified explanation of what Parkinson's is and what the symptoms are and everything. And if there's one person that's really generally good at this, it's Bas Bloem. So my dad asked him if he just wanted to film a clip explaining Parkinson's, the symptoms, and he agreed to that, which was great. And then I also wanted to interview someone that specifically had knowledge about sports related to Parkinson. And he immediately knew someone that would perfectly fit in that position. So we went over there as well to film an interview with Noreen, to talk a little bit about what the effects of sports and working out specifically are on Parkinson's disease. My dad always does yoga here, so he filmed a couple of clips of that as well. And the documentary finishes with 3 of these interviews by people who were inspired by my dad's story. And I think it was a great way to kind of end the documentary in this way, because the whole documentary is kind of about how my dad benefited from sports and how it influenced his life. So it was nice to end it with a couple of interviews from people that were inspired by my dad's story, kind of wrap up the story and show that other people with Parkinson's can do this as well. How it's not just been specifically beneficial to my dad, but also to other people. Time to start with the edit. It's officially finished. I just exported the last version literally a week before the premiere. In about an hour we're leaving to the theatre church where the documentary will be premiering. And a lot of people actually signed up. People could sign up by sending just an email to a email address that my dad made. We posted it on socials, and then the local TV channel, I guess, reached out to us for an interview about this documentary so that we could spread it around a bit more, which was really interesting. We got to talk a little bit about why we made the documentary and what our kind of idea is with the documentary. And now almost 200 people are coming to the premiere, which is gonna be exciting but also nerve-wracking because I'm gonna have to go up on stage to do a little bit of a speech, which with my stage fright is gonna be really interesting. But it's exciting that so many people actually signed up. And also part of the thing that we're doing is that my dad decided that he wanted to do a bit of like a fundraiser through this documentary also, where people could essentially raise money or donate money for Bas Bloem, who I interviewed. He's a professor in neurology, if I'm correct. He knows a lot about Parkinson and does a lot of interviews about it as well. And we're raising money for his newest charity called Art and Parkinson's. So I'm making, last minute I'm making a check right now, where we're gonna write down the final amount after everyone has come in, and if some extra, we've already raised like I think 6,000 euros or something like that, and we're expecting to maybe raise a little bit more money when people are coming in. So I'm gonna make the check right now, very last minute as usual. So this is my working station right now. But to be honest, I need to find a good design, or a design that makes sense. Oh, maybe something like, this might actually look nice. Do you usually write on a shack? Alright, got it. Great writing here. We'll fill in the amount later over there and then write it out over there. I just need to confirm the name of the charity, and then I need my dad's signature here. And then we got the check done. Kijk nu. Dag. En die is voor Megan. Ja. Let's go. Look at that.
Wat zeg je? Zo gaat het doen. En dat heeft erin geresulteerd dat we een totale donatie mogen gaan doen die al project was van 8.000.
I honestly had an absolutely great day during the premiere. It was insane to see how the entire theatre was filled up with people, and to see the responses also of people. There's a lot of people that were there that knew my dad or know my dad, and they've seen him generally at his best, because whenever he goes out to the gym or whenever he goes out to tennis or wherever he goes, he tries to take some rest beforehand or make sure that he's exactly right with his pills. So for them to witness parts of his life where just very simply putting his clothes on in the morning, which can be a struggle. And for them to see that part of it, just hearing all the reactions, how that affected people, was really, really great to hear. And then also we're currently working on trying to get the documentary translated, or like subtitled, not translated, subtitled, and then make it available for everyone to watch, which I'm also really excited to see where that's gonna go. And just generally excited to see people's reactions that don't know my dad at all or his story, but might also get inspired to start working out or start participating in sports more, and hopefully see some positive results from that as well. By the time that you're watching this, the documentary is already up to be watched, and I would love to know what you think of it. I will be making a part 2 to this documentary, or more like an interview about his whole DBS procedure, because currently the documentary kind of stops when he goes into surgery to get his DBS. So if you have any questions relating this trajectory, or relating to how he was after the surgery and what he experienced and everything, definitely let me know in the comments. We'll take them into the interview that I'll be doing with him. And yeah, thank you for watching.